Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be working with the All Boxed In die set from Anna Griffin. This die set is from the Create 7 box and is now also was being sold on HSN. I am not sure if it's still there, but if it is and you don't have it, I'd say go ahead and pick it up. As you can see, there are a lot of dies that come with this set. The ones that make the box are very simple, but it comes with a lot of decorative elements, and that's where you get the wow factor from out of this die set and from out of this box. So the basic construction is really super simple. There's two pieces, which are the base, and then this piece right here, which makes the box. And as you can tell, it cuts out all wonky and kind of warped looking. I was on Facebook and they said that if you cut the die face up into your plate instead of into your magnetic shim, you won't get that warping. I have not tried it yet, but if you haven't made this yet, I'd try that so that you don't get the warping of your paper. Okay, so there's just some score lines. We're going to fold on those and get them all warmed up, and then you'll see the construction of the box. But while I'm warming up these score lines, I just want to talk about this box. It is so pretty. Oh my gosh. And you can use any pattern paper for this. With the pattern paper that I'm using, it is directional. So if you are not planning on decorating the front of your box, make sure that when you're cutting out your pieces that you pay attention to what direction the pattern is going in, so that the pattern is facing the right way when you open your box, and especially for the lid piece. Mine is going to get covered up, so it's not going to matter much at all. But this die set, it comes with some really amazing decorative dies that are going to give you that wow factor to your box, because the basic construction, like I said, is pretty easy. You don't even really need a die set to make this box. These two pieces are just squares, or not squares, rectangles, sorry. And so you cut out some rectangles and make a score line on them both and glue them together, and you have the top construction already. And you saw what the bottom piece looked like. It was just a rectangle with some score lines on the side and on the bottom. So like I said, you're gonna get all of your wow and your amazing Anna Griffin quality from the dies, and pretty much what you decide to decorate it with, and the papers that you use. So this is the front of the box, and this is the back. As you can see, one of my patterns is upside down. That's why if you're using pattern paper, make sure that it goes the right way. But like I said, I'm covering mine up. You'll see. So it's not really going to matter. Okay, so when we made this in Create, we made two of them. One was a Christmas box and one was a birthday box. And the boxes are gorgeous. I gave one to my friend for her birthday, and it was amazing, and she loved it. And I decided to put chocolates inside the Ghirardelli ones, I guess, and I used some of the dies, the presents, to wrap them in. And so, there's so much you can do with this. And there's also, the dies that you can make a card from and then put that inside of the box. The box that we're making, I'm not putting anything in it today. It took already a lot of time to construct the box or make the box. Well, to make this video for this box, and I didn't want it to be that much longer, so I just went with the basic construction and decoration of the box. This, as you probably can tell, is going to be a Valentine's Day box, and that's why I'm using these colors. And I was just showing how you could see it's still a little warped after putting it together, but once the box is all the way constructed, this particular one you're not going to be able to really tell what happened. But my first box, you could tell. You could tell that it was a little wonky. I am putting this whole box together with glue. If you would like, you can use double-sided adhesive. I think I ran out of double-sided adhesive. I think that's why I'm using glue. But I probably would have used glue anyway. And only a little foam tape. Okay, now we're to some other pieces. I am using the plaid cardstock in a pink. Some gold layers that I did use an embossing folder on. Some ribbon you're going to need, and some of the decorative pieces. And this is the piece I'm going to cover the back with. And the die that I used to make that piece so that we had that cover. All of these were basically cut out of the same die, except for the two decorative pieces. So I used the shadow layer to that decorative piece to cut out everything else, all the other pieces, just in case you were wondering which die it was. And then I'll also be showing you where it is on the die set so that you know which one to cut out. All right, so while I am gathering up these pieces to begin decorating the box, I just want to say thank you to everyone who commented on the last video that I did where I made some finishing school projects, all of this finishing school projects of one class, and showed you what I did and how I put it together and that whatever I needed to do to modify if I didn't have it. And most people said that they really liked it and they would like to see more of that. So I will be doing more of those videos. I will do them on Fridays. I'm going to try to commit myself to that. Making those videos and having them uploaded on Fridays. And so thank you so much, and can't wait to get that going. I just have to think of a title for that. And if you guys know of a good title, let me know what you would like to call it or what I should call it. And that would be really helpful. Okay, so now I have to get this ribbon put onto the box. You don't need to do ribbon if you don't want to. A Velcro closure would be perfect, or even a magnet. I don't have any of those items. I should order some from Amazon. So I am going to use ribbon because I have plenty of ribbon from, as you probably guessed it, Crafter's Companion sub boxes. A year's worth of them. And so I grabbed this piece of ribbon from out of my sub box. So if you can't find a piece of ribbon, that's where you will find all of your ribbons in your Crafter's Companion sub boxes. And you just wrap it around. And the pieces that you see next to the box are what is going to hide the ribbon or make it at least look pretty around your box. So don't worry about that. We got that covered. We're just going to get this ribbon on, which is taking me forever. And those of you who watch my videos often may have noticed that I didn't do a part in the beginning where I show you the papers that I'm using to cut these out or make this project. And that's because I'm only really using this one piece of paper other than some gold paper. And this piece of paper came from, I think it came from the basket cardstock, but this one also came out of the Create box. So if you were wondering where it is, what it is, or where it came from, it came out of the basket cardstock and out of the Create 7 box. So if you have either of those, you probably have this piece of paper. And as you can see, that layer covers that over perfectly. And now we're going to do the sides. And this is super duper easy. Just use some glue. I did tell you guys how I was going to tell you guys how I was liking this glue. And so far, so good. I like it. It comes out really easy. I don't see any real significant difference between this glue and the art glitter glue. I don't even think that there's a price difference. So this one comes with more tip applicators, which I probably will never use. But other than that, they seem to be similar and work about the same. So if you want to try the Barely Art glue, go for it. It's a great quality glue and it works really nicely. And in case you're wondering, I got it off of Amazon. Now, my art glitter glue that I have lasted me for 2 years. And so I imagine that this bottle of glue will also last me another 2 years. So it lasts a long time. So it's not something that I'm buying a lot of. One bottle lasts a very, very long time. Now it's time to decorate the front of the box. So I am going to be using an embossing folder, and I'm using one of my 5x7 folders because I don't have a slimline embossing folder at this moment that's not Christmas related. So this one's called Regal Braid. And the thing I really like about these embossing folders is that they have this slit in the center of them. So, you know, if you don't have a slimline embossing folder, you can always just kind of make your own. So you just stick the paper into the embossing folder like you normally would and emboss it. And then when you're about to do the part that's not embossed, you just match up the pattern and put it back in there, through the hole, and match it back up. So it's really easy to do. And then you can have a layer, and you can see a slight little line where I matched up the pattern, but other than that, it's a seamless look to this embossing. And this is going to go over the front of our box to cover the ribbon. And even if you don't have a ribbon, you can put this over the front just to start your decorating. And like I said, this is going to be a Valentine's box because it's time to make Valentine gifts. I actually don't know anyone I'm gonna give a Valentine to. I have my husband, but he wouldn't want a box decorated with pink and hearts and stuff like that. So you give him something different, like a pair of socks. Who knows? But this box, I will just have to find a recipient for, just to maybe I don't know. I guess it depends on what I decide I want to put inside of it. Who's gonna get it? And I guess it has to be. Oh, I have sisters. I'm going to give it to one of my sisters. Yes. I know which one. Yes. I'm going to give it to one of my sisters. That'd be perfect. Because other than that, like, you only give, I wouldn't say only. Who do you give your Valentines to? Do you make them for people, or do you give them to mostly family members? I don't give out Valentines at all. But I'm going to make a lot of Valentines on this channel, just to be making some Valentine's cards. And I'll have to find people to give them to. Mostly my sisters, probably. Do your family members get sick of you giving them your cards that you make? Or are they like super happy to get them? I'm sure mine are probably like, okay, I've had enough. No more handmade cards, please. Every birthday, every Christmas, every holiday. Yeah, okay. So I digress. This is the layer from the plaid cardstock that I just put on. And this is one of the only layers that I really put on foam pads. Everything else is glued down. I just liked the flat look of this whole situation. So I just glued everything down with the glue. And this is really pretty and goes over the top, and you can, put whatever you want there. I mean, honestly, from here, you can stop and, put a sentiment and go on about your business. But we are not going to stop there. We are going to keep going. In true Anna Griffin fashion, I pulled out my impression dies. Whoop whoop. Yes, I got the Valentine impression dies from Anna Griffin, and I am doing some matting and layering of them. So I'm putting the gold on the bottom and the pink one on the top and offsetting them, and you'll see that here in a second. Look at how good that impression came out. Using your brayer, you are going to get perfect impressions every single time. It looks so good. And these are going to look great in the corners of our box. The color that I used from the impression dies ink set is the one called Heart. That's the one that I used on these impressions. That brings me to this subject, which is, with these impression dies, we have gotten, if you've been getting them, I don't know, I have gotten 6 reds out of these impression dies, and I'm just a little kind of disappointed that there aren't more color options. There's greens, reds, violets, a brown in this one for the Cupid, and that's pretty much it. There's a yellow and a gold, and I think that's out of getting, I don't know, how many do we get? I have 16 inks from the impression set, and 6 of them are red. I just think that that's kind of ridiculous. And 3 of them are green. So the variety is pretty poor, I'd have to say. I just wish that there were more colors in these impression die inks. And I guess that's about all I'm going to say. And I know that in the next set that I don't think it's going to be much better. So I think if you have inks and you're planning on getting this set, then I would just get it without the inks from her set, because you probably already have 2 reds. There's 2 reds, and there's just 1 ink set. So I mean, she's selling the impression dies without the inks on HSN, and I'd say probably pick those up just for that simple fact. It's kind of disappointing. Anyway, so you can see that I made cut out 2 of the big hearts and then 2 red ones out of metallic cardstock. I use ivory cardstock on the impressions that I used the ink with, and then I just used a matte foil red for the centers. As I've mentioned before, all of the floral wreath stickers say happy birthday, and I really wanted the floral wreath to have a center, but of course it's a Valentine's card, so I wanted it not to say happy birthday. So I do have this banner, as you can see, sitting on the side over there that says love and hugs to you, that I am going to put over the happy birthday and cover that up. I loved how this covered it up perfectly, and it looks like it belonged there. And one thing I really liked about having the center into the floral wreath was there's a gold ring around that sentiment that really popped the other sentiment up and made it like look even that much better, as you can see from here. I love it. It looks great. This box is beautiful. So now that the front is all complete, it is now time to do the inside of our box. Since the inside of this project is pretty much more of the same as the outside, just using that embossing layer and some of the dies from the set with the impression dies, I'm gonna just speed up the rest of this so that this video isn't so long, and then I'll come back when it's all finished. So enjoy. All right, we did it. Yay. The box is all complete. It is ready for Valentine's Day. You put some treats or a card inside, and it's ready to go off with love. I enjoyed making this immensely, so thank you to the person who asked for me or made a request for this to be made, and hopefully you enjoy this creation and what we came up with. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're loving these videos, and share them with a crafty friend. And I'm just gonna tie the bow that goes to this, and that will be the finishing touch on our project. So have a fun, crafty day, and thank you all for watching. Bye.